Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to this week's edition of TV Tangents. This week I'll be discussing an animated show called Steven Universe and why you should be watching it. I think the very first thing I need to do is apologise to the Steven Universe fanbase. You see, a couple of months ago I made a video for this very channel counting down the best animated comedies on TV right now. You can watch it here! The problem is, I didn't include Steven Universe on this list. Now I can hear you asking, why Dan? How could you possibly make such an egregious and inexcusable error? I hadn't seen it yet. A mistake in itself, but of course since that time I have watched the entire show. Me and my girlfriend sat down and in just a couple of weeks we binge watched the entire 67 episode run. And I'm fairly certain you can take from that it goes without saying that if I did the list now, it would be on there. To make up for this terrible lapse in judgment, this week's TV Tangents is all about Steven Universe, the show I missed. For those unaware, Steven Universe is a Cartoon Network show created and run by Rebecca Sugar, a former writer and storyboard artist for Adventure Time. A person who makes me feel extremely inadequate by being my age, but a trillion times more talented and successful. Anyway, Steven Universe is about a boy named Steven who happens to be half human, half gem. What's a gem, you ask? Watch the show. Seriously though, the nature of the situation actually develops over time in the show, and half the fun is discovering it, so bear with me here if I have to keep some of my descriptions a little bit vague. Steven is living with 3 other gems known as the Crystal Gems, in order to learn how to control and harness his gemmy powers. He and the Crystal Gems protect Earth from all manner of evil and destructive stuff. When the show first starts, they spend a lot of time trying to keep Steven away from all the danger, and they play up his ineptitude for comedy. He's sort of hapless in a charming and innocent way, but as time's gone on he's proving to be extremely valuable to the team and is slowly gaining control over his powers. Now this is a prime example of why I love this show so much. When I say slowly, I mean slowly. They really do take their time to build surprisingly deep and interesting character arcs. Each character has a lot going on and is slowly evolving based on the events of each story, but this isn't noticeable if you just watch a couple of random episodes. It's something subtle you piece together over the entire run. The same is true of Steven Universe's ability to draw you into the world the characters inhabit. As you watch, you start to notice an insane amount of subtle world building. It doesn't always make it part of the central plot of each episode, but if you're paying attention, you really start to learn what the gems are, where they came from, and what led to them being on Earth. It's mind-bending how much thought goes into the show. The writing is so tight down to every little detail that when the show does reveal stuff, you'll go back and realise they've been laying evidence of it since day one. And not just little stuff either. I'm talking blatant and overt information you simply wouldn't pick up on first viewing through the show's many layers. There are hour-long dramas that would literally kill to have stories this well designed. So many shows present an inconsistent and confusing narrative and pretend it's clever and intricate. I'm looking at you, Blacklist. Steven Universe is the real deal, and it does it without you even noticing. And the really impressive thing is that they achieve all this incredibly intricate story and character arcs without writing scripts. Isn't that crazy? They have story editors that create premises and story beats, which are handed over to the storyboard artists who come up with the dialogue, visual gags, and pull everything together. These storyboards are then turned back to the story editors who clean it up before it goes into production. What is this wizardry? It's not uncommon for cartoons to be written this way, but there's a reason most don't have complex and ongoing story arcs. Once you watch some of the incredible things they've done over the course of Steven Universe's run in regards to character, story, and the insane levels of attention to detail, you'll be looking to burn Rebecca Sugar at the stake for witchcraft. What is this witchcraft? But that's just my screenwriting brain gushing over all the things that impress me the most. The truth is, this show has something for everyone. The art design is crazy good, so simple yet so effective at building the alien tone of the world Steven and the gems inhabit, but at the same time it's often so recognisable as our Earth, even though it all looks so unique. It's also got some of the best music in TV, from the occasional musical numbers the characters perform to the beautiful incidental music. This show clearly has some very talented people plucking at things and hitting keys in a rhythmic fashion. That's how music works, right? Yeah, and they got hitters, expert hitters. That's what you need. And it's genuinely funny too. It doesn't feel the need to intrude every few seconds with forced gags that don't quite work in some weird self-conscious need to be laugh a minute. It's expert comedy with a laser-sighted scope. It happens precisely when the show wants it to happen, and it lands a bullseye every single time that will have you laughing until you have to rewind, because you miss what they said after. It also doesn't hurt that the show is very self-aware. It knows its premise is a little silly and gleefully plays with your expectations, leaving viewers with a show that's somehow bizarrely subversive while simultaneously paying homage to the shows that inspired it, which range from some of Japan's best animes to Cartoon Network's other content. Plus, for a show aimed at a younger audience, it never talks down to them and isn't afraid to go to dark or dramatic places when it needs to. It's quite happy to play with your emotions when the story needs it, making you genuinely empathise with the characters' natural ups and downs. In short, this incredible, confident, self-aware, funny, dramatic, intelligent and intricate children's cartoon will burrow its way into your brain, build a home, settle down, have kids, and never let you live another moment of your life not obsessing over the utter brilliance of Steven Universe. So there you have it. I hope the Steven Universe fanbase can find it in their hearts to forgive me. But wait, there's more. Basically, I felt like I should be, punished for my mistake, and decided that the most efficient method of punishment would be some form of ritual humiliation. So a couple of weeks ago, I bought this. Now, I've never so much as touched a string instrument in my life before now. The closest I've ever come to playing any form of guitar was this. And as other members of the band I was in when I was a teenager will tell you, despite my insistence to the contrary at the time, I'm also not much of a singer. So, as punishment, I've learned, and I do use the term loosely, the Steven Universe theme song. Feel free to switch off now to avoid the ensuing damage that my attempt to cover this song will likely cause your ears. Here goes nothing. If you're evil and you're on the rise, you can count on the four of us taking you down, 'cause we're good and evil never beats us. We'll win the fight and then go out for pizzas. We are the crystal gems, we'll always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. And that's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven. Whoa, Steven. So there you have it. Insults on the back of a postcard. Address it to 123 Please Go Easy on Me Street. Of course, insults might more conveniently be placed in the comments section underneath this video. Feel free to mock my attempt at doing a song. Feel free to subscribe, and of course, I hope to see you again for another, hopefully less embarrassing, edition of TV Tangents. What is this wizardry?